Maduro was as a leader. He canceled elections. He was an anti-democratic leader. That doesn't mean that we can kidnap a head of state and engage in acts of war just because the nation is below the equator. Rubio's speech was a pure appeal to Western culture. My favorite part was when he said that American cowboys came from Spain.
I thought they came from Winnetou, but
I believe the Mexicans and descendants of African enslaved peoples would like to have a word.
But I want to remember all those images of masked men, the secret police, something familiar in Germany. Those first images came out of my state.
2028 Democratic hopefuls were seen uniting and bashing President Trump's leadership on the stage at the Munich Security Conference over the weekend. Take a listen.
Donald Trump is doubling down on stupid. He's trying to recreate the 19th century. His code red in terms of American leadership in this space.
In the West, we'd look the other way for inconvenient populations, whether it is threatening our allies to colonize Greenland, whether it is looking the other way.
Joining us now, Young Voices fellow Maggie Anders. Maggie, did any of that come off as presidential?
Absolutely not. And I just have to say, clearly Munich was the Democrats' first campaign stop this year. And I have to say, AOC for me came in dead last. She completely flubbed this question about Taiwan and came off as completely unserious. It's clear to me that Democrats want the US and Europe to go back to a foreign policy of self-hatred.
And that's exactly right. And if AOC is, I mean, she's essentially the new Kamala Harris, right? When you listen to her talk, nothing makes sense. And she just goes in these rhetorical, strange, progressive identity politics circles. And again, she's playing to the minority of the Americans because the progressive agenda just does not float anymore. That was clearly shown in the mandate that Donald Trump had.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio also spoke at this conference. His message was very well received by many. Ran about 20 minutes, but take a listen to a portion of what he had to say.
We in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline. What we want is a reinvigorated alliance that recognizes that what has ailed our societies is not just a set of bad policies, but a malaise of hopelessness and complacency. An alliance is what the alliance that we want is one that is not paralyzed into inaction by fear. Fear of climate change, fear of war, fear of technology. Instead, we want an alliance that boldly races into the future.
So he talked about national pride and how a strong Europe means a strong America and how our partnership together is so important. Compare and contrast, if you could, for us, Maggie, those messages that we just heard.
Absolutely. Well, AOC showed up to Munich and basically told the world that America is horrible, that we're doing atrocities in Gaza, and this question about Taiwan, she completely flubbed. Taiwan is responsible for so much of our economy working. It's clear that these Democrats, especially AOC, are not serious contenders in the future. Marco Rubio and President Trump have really reinvigorated American foreign policy and shown us that we need to be proud on the world stage and take responsibility for uplifting society again.
She's leaving out somebody, though, that's critical to the piece for 28 on the Republicans, and that's J.D. Vance. So clearly, if you're going to look forward, you can see that J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio are going to go head-to-head. There's no doubt about it. And one of the two is going to drop into second. Again, at this point, it's a coin toss. But when you look at, and again, contrast that with Gavin, right? Newsom is terrible. Terrible. He went actually to the WEF conference just last month and again was made fun of the whole time and brought no presence. So other than, a few side meetings with a globalist henchman that he wants to cozy up to, all the Soros groups. But when you look at, again, Newsom and then AOC, if this is the best that the Democrats have for the 28 ticket, they're in deep trouble. And I think that's exactly what they're going to play with. They're going to try to lead with Gavin, and then AOC is going to be the diversity candidate, almost the Kamala replacement, and they're going to cross their fingers and hope. And hope's not a strategy. We know that. So they're looking at, again, this contrast between J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio and Gavin Newsom and AOC. It couldn't be more stark.
An applause there. Standing ovation, if you will.
Yeah.
In the 15 seconds we have remaining, is Europe finally getting it, Maggie?
I think so, and I think people don't want to be self-hating anymore, and that really was the policy of Europe for so long. And I just remember when JD gave his speech maybe a year ago, and things have really turned around since then.
Yeah, it was at
I disagree with her. I think the people of Europe, in fact, a small minority of the people of Europe, are done with the identity politics and this self-hatred. There's no question about it. You can see that online in certain publications. But when you pivot to the people that are voted into power, again, think France with Macron, think Steimer in England. Obviously, over in Germany, they have another globalist leader as well. Those are the people that are ultimately getting voted in. So as far as Europe goes, I see no reason at all to think that anything's going to be changing. And AOC's identity politics placating into that rhythm of self-hatred and that rhythm of victimization, it's not going to play. It plays fine with these European bureaucrats, but it does not play well in Kansas. It does not play well in Iowa. It does not play well in New Hampshire, of all places as well. So let me know what you think. Again, do you think that Gavin Newsom, do you think AOC have a chance in 28? Right now, my feeling is that those are going to be your two lead candidates coming in from the Democrat ticket. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you've yet to subscribe, please do so to America First Alerts. We'll see you in the next video.
We won!
Okay, let's go.